Grab the log and talk to our dad. You can hear Dad sneeze all the way from engineering. It's explosive, like he's trying to scare away predators. He's wiping his nose as you approach, on a handkerchief blotted with shimmering pink. Lately, he's also surrounded by a fine dusting of pink pollen that clings to him wherever he goes. You keep brushing the glitter off things in your quarters. He gives you a hug, then brushes the pollen off your shoulders, laughing self-consciously. You haven't heard him laugh much lately. He's been working hard to improve the colony's food supply. He's showing signs of malnourishment, too, though your mom is worse. You're worried for both of them. Your dad's skin is kind of shiny in patches. He sees you staring and rubs his hands over his arms. Sparkling dust poofs off of him in little clouds, scintillating in the light. Oh yeah, that's a new symptom, he says. Seems harmless, though. You should stay inside. You should see Chief Engineer Instance. You should be wearing your mask. Stay safe, Dad. You should be wearing your mask. We already know that that's what Instance would say. And hide this beautiful face, your dad laughs, rubbing his nose, especially now that it sparkles. He makes a big show of checking his pockets. Huh, I guess I must have left my respirator back in the greenhouses. Why can't he take care of himself? Your dad sniffles. Gosh, I feel like someone stuffed a whole potato pod up my nose, he says. Like I could just poke a stick up there and pop fresh potato juice. Ugh, Dad, gross. He just grins. What? It's true. You follow his gaze out to the fields and to the lands outside the gate. I wonder if the foragers could use an extra hand, he muses to himself. Yeah, maybe I'll join them out there tomorrow. Neither of your parents are taking proper care of themselves. They're so stressed out from the poor harvest and the low food supplies. They try not to let you see it, but you can tell. Maybe your dad is right. A little seasonal illness is nothing compared to the danger of running out of food. You find your mom slumped against the wall of the geoponics dome, her hollow palm open to a bunch of charts and spreadsheets. Hey, kiddo, she says tiredly. What do you need? Alright, Cal. You spot Cal kneeling in the dirt, digging up root vegetables and frowning. They're so small this year, he says, holding one up and examining it. Maybe there's just not enough nutrients in the soil? Is it something we're doing wrong? Mars. Yep, we've read that one before. Tangent. Nothing else, this year's science fair during Vertonalia will be the fiercest competition yet, Tank says. She almost looks giddy in prospect. I mean, I will win, of course, but just imagine scientific innovations made in this year alone. Nem grabs you by the shoulders. Selene, you gotta help me, she says urgently. Mom keeps talking about how we're all gonna have to start having babies, and she gets this look on her about her. I don't have any skunky babies. Yeah, we've read this one too. One moment. Alright, I'm back. And Dis. Dis is curiously studying a small bleached white animal skull. Look at this, he says, and holds it out to you. There's mushrooms growing in this one. I didn't know that fungus could grow on bone. It's kind of like everything on this planet was designed to work together. He throws the skull back into the wilderness. Well, except us. So I really want to explore that new location now that we have our stress back. The Forge in the Valley, Perception and Biology. I wouldn't say no to either. Check out this location. Utopia. Utopia greets you warmly as you muster for your first expedition with the foraging team. Selene, I'm glad you could make it. We need everyone we can get out here right now, boosting our food supplies. I'm ready to sniff out those tasties. Good luck hunting out there, she says, handing you an oversized backpack, more like a basket than a pack. Use your holopalm to identify edible and medicinal plants, and just throw them in here. I'll sort them back at base camp. Oh, and keep on the lookout for creatures. It's pretty peaceful out there in the valley, but even a little bug will get you if you're not careful. Go slow, pay attention to your surroundings. If you're unsure about something, don't approach it. Stay on the path and don't get lost. We don't call it the Valley of Vertigo for nothing. Any questions? Will Dis be with me this time? What sort of things should I collect? Is it dangerous out there? What's a fine lady like you doing in it? Or nope, I'm good. Will Dis be with me this time? Utopia looks like she's trying not to smell. Nah, Dis is good at finding new things, just not so much the same things over and over. You'll be okay though, she continues. You won't be alone out there, and you're doing important work. You're about to leave when Utopia snaps her fingers. Hold up, Selene. We're also investigating some species we might domesticate. Those we'll want to tag and capture. Ideally, we're looking for herbivorous creatures who would already live in herds, and either produce something edible or reproduce quickly enough we can slaughter them for meat. See anything that fits the bill, tag them and bring them back. Alright, let's move on. So we're trying to solve, or help solve, the colony's food issues that we're running into, because right now the colony has no food. Alright, we've got a Bricky here. Bricky are carnivores, you think, but the juveniles are too small to take out anything larger than an insect. Not so much the case with this one. The Bricky blocking your path is pretty large, probably about as tall as your waist, and it's growling at you over the carcass of something even bigger, which seems to be missing its head. Yuck. You're not sure if it killed or scavenged the dead animal, but it's dragged it onto the path and looks ready to fight you for it. Fight it, wait for it to leave, or find another route. Sometimes our pets will help with these, but I'm not seeing an option for our Bricky to step in. So I guess I will try the combat challenge and fight it. We've got this 2 locked in place. We can just toss in some 2s. Next round. 2, 1, 6. Wow. We'll go with a 3. Just have a bunch of blues. Why not? Actually, go there, then we get a straight. Next round. You do 5, 5. 4, 4, 2. Yeah. Seems good enough. Could have gotten up to a 27. Oh well. You chase the Bricky off and claim ownership of the dead animal. It's no prize, it's completely rotten. It's not even worth calling it a retrieval team. What a waste. And another Bricky. Your path is blocked by massive 8-legged xenofauna, something between a spider and a squid and a bear. It's in a rage, grunting furiously and bashing itself against trees and rocks at random. You duck and hide as it glares in your direction, its breath heaving and dozens of eyes gleaming with madness. It's the same soft pink and purple you recognize from the multi-legged Bricky that live in the area, but so much larger. Could this be a related species? Its gaze drops from you to your pet Bricky, Bright Eyes, who chitters and runs up to it, waving its grasping tentacles. The gigantic creature huffs and leans down to sniff it, its rage forgotten. We'll let the creature sniff our pet. The large creature makes a chopping noise like a tiger, a bassy, vibrating exhale that ruffles at your Bricky's fur. Content it's not going to eat Bright Eyes, you keep back and let them introduce themselves. Bright Eyes isn't intimidated in the slightest. In fact, it seems totally relaxed in the presence of this hulking beast. They touch tentacles and sniff each other, and your Bricky even curls up in the bigger one's arms for a while. Wait, they look just like parent and child. Is this another life phase for the Bricky? After a while, the huge Bricky leaves harmlessly. You're happy that your little buddy got social time with their own species. We lost stress and gained a point of animals. Unfortunately, our stress wasn't that high at that point. That would have been a nice one to have later on in the exploration. You come across a veritable feast of berry bushes. Delicate, fluffy leaves, bushes with long blue berries. They look delicious. Let's research them first. Card becomes a 3. Alright. Why not? A flush of 3? Sure. 3, 3. 2, 4. Sure. Alright. I'll turn into a 5. Hard becomes a 3. I don't know. Sure. Win. +2 biology. Your research confirms that these blueberries are edible. Alright, well then we will harvest them. You harvest the blueberries by the handful, filling your basket. When you bring them back to Utopia, she cheers. These are her favorite. Here, sweets, she says, tossing you a berry. Have one. They're delicious. We gain 5 kudos. But I don't think that helped with our colony's food situation. A line of termite-like insects crosses the path here. Curious, you follow them to their destination, a massive sponge-like hive of crawling bugs, writhing with life. The bugs are tending to larvae nestled in the holes of the sponge, feeding on the rich royal jelly that oozes from the hive. You step in for a closer look and hear a warning hiss from above. Atop the hive is a queen, whatever it is. Wait, no, she is the hive. Wait, this is a squeeger hive. Her abdomen has swollen and lodged in the ground here, rendering her immobile, but not defenseless. The hive queen groans and growls at you, and the air prickles with burning flavor of acid. She must have some sort of defensive acid spray. That jelly looks pretty edible, though. Let's wade in and harvest some. Alright. Trying to get all the way up to 84. That's a lot. This will drop to a 5 after I play 2 more cards. So we'll toss in another 5. And then a 3, I guess. Or, no, 5, 5, 5. Is that better? It is, but only because 5 is 2 points higher. Whatever. Next round. 5. No way to get a 4. Something like that. Sure. I need better cards. Right? Toss that over there. And there. Ah, okay. Yeah, I don't think there's any real way I can pull this off. Even though I tossed all these on and got us 10 more points. I think this might be a fail. So that would bring me up to 34. Yeah, I could use a bunch of these and try and get something, but yeah. That's 25. Yeah, so I can get us up to 35 by using all of my logs. Using the rest of these I could... No, I'm just gonna give up. As much as it sucks. Defeated. No skill changes. Gain 20 stress from that. You duck and weave, but the Squeeger Queen is too savvy for your tricks. You're blasted with a face full of insectoid acid for your efforts, and you leave empty-handed. Ouch. Let's see. Can I see where either of these paths are going? This looks like it's a dead end. So let's go to the right instead. Bit of a maze. Bristle Slug is rooting around in the underbrush. Look, it's like a little porcupine with no legs. Well, little is relative. It comes up to your waist and must be at least 100 kilograms. You've seen a few of these up in geoponics. They're easy to catch, and their spines and berries naturally fall off and are edible, and a chewy, renewable source of food, kind of like jerky. Maybe you could catch this one. Catching it is hard. Could kill it, but Now I'm nervous since I just failed a challenge. We'll try catching it. So this slot will be red, but nothing else crazy is going on. So we're not going to get a color set because that's going to screw up our cards. So 4, 3. I can't even get... Okay. 3, 3, 3. Oh, we can go 5, 4, 3. There we go. That's actually getting bonus points. Next round. So that turns that into a 4. 3, 4, 5. Okay. 5. We can get a 4 there. 2, 2, 2. Oh, but it turns it red. Why? Come on. Oh well. Would have been better if it had stayed blue. And we're still 15 short. I think I shouldn't have come to this area yet because I just don't have the cards to succeed on these challenges. Man. Well, if I go here, turn... Oh, it's unchangeable. So dumb. Okay. Well, I just wasted a log. So that's awesome. No, I didn't. I'm still at 5. So I was thinking I could put 2 points there, turning this into a 4, and then put the yellow flower on here, which would turn this into a yellow 3, and then 3, 4, 5. But no, of course not. So let's change this into a 4, and this into a 4. Yeah, I don't think that really helped. 26. 28. Use 35 stress to push through. Sure. Victorious. Gained in animals. You're pretty sure this one is female because it has bristles on its butt as well as its head. Her eyes are a deep green. You think you'll call her Emerald. She seems calm in the net, like she isn't too worried about where she might be going. You crouch down with a clump of leaves, and she sticks her muzzle through the net and eats them right out of your hand. Her whiskers tickle. You pat her forehead and pack her off to the geoponics barns. You could go visit her there later if you like. +1 colony food and 10 kudos. You're too worn and tired to continue. You have to go home now. Alright, you're at lunch with your parents. Sliced soy cakes and watery broth again. Great. When they put down their cutlery and look at each other. Selene, your mom says, there's something we should tell you. We've tried to shelter you from some things, but we think you should know why we've been working so hard in geoponics. There's a meeting after lunch, and I want you to come with us. Okay. You follow your parents to the council room. Mars is also tagged along, and you take a seat near them as your mom and Aunt Anne stand to address the council. After Utica officially calls the meeting, she gestures to your mom. I'm not going to mince words, your mom says firmly. All of our efforts to increase food production in geoponics have failed, especially given the failure of the pixie beans. The destruction of the fields during the last attack put the nail in our coffin. By the end of the year, the colony will run out of food. The rest of the council murmurs in concern. You and Mars exchange horrified looks. You've been doomsaying about our food supply for 2 years, Flulu. questions. Do you mean to say we're past the point of no return? Your mother nods grimly. I'm afraid so. Even with rationing, without securing a retumnant food source, our supplies will run out by wet season. She gestures to Anne, whose face is grave. Anne and I have gone over the supplies and come up with food plans. We're crunching the numbers. Your mom sighs and spreads her hands. I'm sorry, geoponics should have been producing better by now. We should have been able to wean ourselves off of soy rations. During wormhole transit, when we lost our hydroponics in the hull breach, she sighs again. I know I've said it so many times, but our crops just don't grow here. We need those algae tanks. We need the microbial soil from Earth. Why weren't we told earlier? Adults screw everything up, or it's not Mom's fault. Why weren't we told earlier? Yeah, Mars agrees. Why weren't we told? We have a right to know. We live here too. She stands up and slams her hands on the table. We've been here for 4 years, and we could have been helping this whole time, and all you did was have meetings about it. Come on, Mars, you wouldn't have helped, and I have been exploring and stuff. The council looks at Mars with surprise and then contempt. Udicott chuckles weakly. Imagine being carried for so long and being upset that your feet could not be cut by the rocks. She waves one shaking hand. Seeing the future is the privilege of youth. Thank goodness we have them to point out our flaws. Mars sits back down, confused by Udicott's words, but fuming at her dismissive tone. So, what do we do now? Instance asks. Starving to death isn't an option. No, it isn't, your mom replies. We need to secure a food source this year, before our rations run out. We're working double shifts in geoponics, but it's not enough. We need more people planting, tending, turning the soil. We need more hands. I can pull back the surveyors and focus on foraging native plants, Utopia offers. Even the young folks can help if they've proven themselves around the survey equipment. I'll send out a holo message later. Gained status starving. This has been the burden of geoponics for too long, Udicott says. It's time we all step up for our future. The council nods in agreement. Your stomach rumbles ominously. So starving gives us physical skill increases reduced by 1. Alright, mid-pollen. We need to rest this month. I've been learning a lot about systems, Dis says, writing on his holopalm, like the water cycle and the nitrogen cycle, food webs and decomposition, stuff like that. It's pretty cool, even if it's all textbooks from Earth. He looks wistfully out at the wilderness. There's so much we don't know about this place. Hey, Cal? Cal trundles by you with an empty wheelbarrow. Hey, Selene. He calls out, get in. We're going planting. Alright. Our dad. You spot your dad poring over some plant samples. Never should have wasted my time on those beans, he grumbles. I thought for sure. I checked them over and over. He sighs and scrubs his face. Too late now. Your mom passes you a soy ration bar from her pocket. Here, Selene, eat up. You need your strength. I'm so choked that there's not going to be a Vertumnalia festival this year, Mars complains. Look, just because we don't have a harvest festival doesn't mean we can't have a party. She sighs and twirls her hair around her fingers. Look, it's literally the only culture we have on this stupid rock. Can't we at least pretend things are okay? Breaking a chemical bond requires and releases energy. Whichever one is greater determines whether it's an exothermic or endothermic reaction, Peng says, tapping her fingers against the laboratory table. I wonder if there's any similar classifications for when the bonds between family are broken, and new ones are created with others. She sighs. Chief engineer instance is the closest I have to what a family is supposed to be. Alright. Yeah! Nem exclaims, holding her stomach. I'm so hungry! Alright, let's rest up again. Relax in the park. The garden is such an extravagance normally, but during a famine it's almost irresponsible. Your mom hasn't had a lot of time to weed here lately, so you donate some of your free time to cleaning up around the flowers. They're pretty, but not edible. What a shame. +1 to strength challenges, or 3? I think those are both still among my better cards. But maybe I should start dropping some of the 2s so I can get more of the 5s that we have. Late pollen. Do our rounds again. Still complaining about focusing on the beans. And our mom. You should drink water and get lots of sleep, your mom tells you. Famine back on Earth was a fact of life. We were lucky in the compound, but that's what made us a target for attacks. You have to learn how to manage your hunger, because you won't always have enough food. He gestures widely with her arm, even here in paradise. Hey, Cal? He's complaining about the vegetables he's digging up. And Mars. Complaining about Tangent. Tangent? Pang pinches the bridge of her nose. The hunger pangs are intolerable, she complains. Just because I'm not out there sweating like an animal in the sun doesn't mean my minimum required calorie intake is lower. If anything, it's higher. Science is the answer to our food shortages. It is short-sighted to hobble the greatest minds in the colony by restricting our calories. Yep, still complaining about all of that. This. Yep, still thinks videos are garbage and outside is real. Alright, we're going to keep foraging the valley because that is the breadbasket of Vertumna, as they say. So if we want to help out with the food problems, it's going to be here. Alright, so this is where we've explored before. We will keep exploring this way, I think. Although I suppose we could at least see what this event is, because most events allow you to walk away. So I could see if this is good. You come across another squeeger hive, an intensely gravid hive queen and her hundreds of wriggling grubs rooted here like any other tree. This one seems calm. You're able to approach closely enough to smell the sweet tang of her royal jelly. Alright. We'll give it a shot. 65. Hopefully we can pull that off. +2 bonus to pairs. So pairs is what we should be aiming for this time. But this will turn it into a 4. Okay. Huh. Nope, then that drops it back down to a 3. Ugh. Whatever. Next round. We can do 5, 5, 5. Three. Save those ones that are both dealing with gems. Yeah. So +1 for each gem on other cards. And then we toss in these 2 gem cards. What are you going to be? You're going to be a 3. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not pairs, but it's still a good run. Yeah, victorious. 3-star. 5 kudos, and we gained another colony food. The calm hive queen has only a rudimentary danger sense. Squeeger hives can be very defensive when they sense danger to their young, but so long as you don't set off the workers or the larvae, you're free to walk right up to her. You gently avoid hurting any of the babies as you scrape her copious honey into a collector. Nice. Let's carry on. I remember this event. You come out of the trees into a large grassy clearing. In the middle is a, well, you can only describe it as a pedestal. In the middle of the cradle of flowers sits a massive egg, easily larger than any egg you've seen before. It's white with red flecks, and it's just sitting here in the middle of the empty clearing, totally unprotected. Well, let's take it. You put one foot on the pedestal and brace yourself. This thing is huge. However, as you do, the pedestal starts moving, and it starts growling. Its flowering appendages unfurl to reveal the face of a manticore. It narrows its feline eyes at you and rumbles in warning as it stands to its full terrifying height. You figured out where the egg came from. With your arms full of egg, you can't really fight. Your choices are limited. Throw the egg and run, or keep the egg and run. We're going to try and keep the egg. Alright, randomly a card has been locked into a slot. It's this 5 that gives -2 to nearby yellow cards. And I'm getting bonuses for straights and red challenges. Well, I can't really pull off a straight here. There we go. Do something like that. Next round. You are annoying because I can't use these yellow cards nearby, and all my blue cards are really low numbers. Could use you, but this gives a -1 to the challenge, which isn't great. But something like that, maybe. Give me some good cards. Alright. That's a success. That's what we need. Victorious. You stumble blindly through the clearing toward the relative safety of the trees, the cumbersome egg blocking your view of your own feet. You fall a few times, just barely managing to scramble out from under the claws of the manticore. You eventually find a member of the expedition's protection squad, who fires a warning shot with her plasma rifle over the manticore's head. It roars in defiance and slinks into the trees. The egg's pretty addled from all the running and falling. If it was going to hatch before, it certainly won't now. You get a shit ton of kudos for it, though, and it's super tasty. 10 kudos, we gained a Xeno Egg collectible card and a colony food. Let's see, what do we have down here? Path splits. There's quite a few events. Let's see what this one is. You find a healthy blet bush and harvest some of the leaves to bring back to the colony. Utopia is beyond excited when she sees your haul. Oh, blep, she cries, shoving her hands right into the basket of rustling leaves. Slaney, you're a boy after my own heart. She pops a leaf in her mouth and chews on it, then shudders happily. Ooh, she cries, that'll perk you up, but good. Anne brews a heck of a cup with this stuff, but me, I prefer it raw. She points at you. Don't you go getting any funny ideas. This'll turn you green and give you spots across my heart. Stay away until you're older. Let's chew some. Ugh, just because Utopia was born on Earth, she thinks she's an adult just like the rest of them. She's closer to your age than to all the other adults. What does she know anyway? You wait until Utopia leaves, then shove a leaf in your mouth. Ugh, you struggle to not spit it out right away. It's so bitter. You can't help but stick out your tongue. Blep indeed. Mysteriously, you experience a rush of giddiness a few minutes later. Ooh, wow, that blep sure is good. No wonder adults keep this stuff away from kids. It's probably addictive. And we'll grab that bobble fruit. Over here, you decide to take a shortcut through the jungle path to through the jungle to a path you were sure was just up ahead, and now you're lost. Everything looks the same. The plants are too high to see any landmarks, and you swear some of them move around when you aren't looking. You try to check your positioning with your holopalm, but the darn thing isn't working, and won't connect to long-range communications either. Typical. Utopia did warn you that the comms were flaky out here. You think you can tell north from the position of the two suns, but that's it. Orient your way out of here. You climb a tree and chart a path through the wilderness from above. With that information in your holopalm, navigating to the nearest landmark is a breeze. Alright. You hear a rustle in the bushes and catch a glimpse of a shadowy figure. Could it be a person? Whoever it is, you quickly lose sight of it in the jungle. Follow it. Would have gained a perception, but because we're starving, we don't. The wilderness is thick here, as is the fog that comes in waves. You'll need to rely on your tracking skills to go farther. Then let's track it. Perception challenge. First collectible use is free. That is good to know. 554. Next round. We were wanting straights. Okay, 4. That'll give us a -1, which I don't need. 4, 3, 2. Oh, that doesn't stay a 3. Got it. Well, 4, 4. 6, 2. Sure. Next round. 5, 4, 3. Or not. Five, 4, 3. I don't know. There. 25. Good enough. No skill changes. You're looking for a person, so it's a surprise when you come face to face with a weird-looking creature. It kind of looks like a person, a bit. More like a tree, really. Some relative to the bush bub, maybe? But more tentacles and slime, like a tree oozing with goopy sap, with 2 legs. Yuck. It makes a sort of baroo noise at you as you back away. And looks like we have our main boss event. You're alone, exploring an unmapped area of the Valley of Vertigo. The pollen is thick here, and your air filter is overworked. Oh, I know this event. A warning light has been flashing orange for the last 10 minutes. But there are plants here that you've never seen before, flowers with intense rainbow hues, and strange lumps of fungal matter which pulse as if they're breathing. You cut some samples. Utopia will totally give you extra kudos for these. The pollen is especially thick up ahead, deep fuchsia and shimmering with color. Everything here seems to dance with tiny flecks of reflected light. It's kind of magical. Let's press forward. You push forward into the suffocating pink fog. It's so thick you can only see a few meters ahead. You follow the glimmering towards where it's densest. You come upon a glade filled with what seem to be strange topiaries. They loom out of the glittering fog, each with the shape of an animal. They're all formed around from the same spongy, glittering pink substance and dotted with finger-length fungal growths. You're so distracted you almost fall into a large hole in the center of the glade. Well, let's check it for danger. You've seen plant-like animals before. Are these topiaries actually predators waiting for you to get close? You watch them carefully from the edge of the glade. They're completely still, not breathing. There are no life signs. Good. Your envirosuit beeps a warning. Let's take a sample of the fungus. As you bend down to take a sample, you realize the dense shining haze is coming from the topiaries. The fog is seeping out of the hole at the end of each holes at the end of each fungal growth. You break off a few of the growths into a collection vial. You remember helping Tang for extra credit in biology class. She said that the shimmer, the seasonal illness that affects your dad and Pollen, is some kind of colonizing fungal growth. Could this be related? Your envirosuit beeps a louder warning. Let's look into the hole. At the bottom of the hole is a cave. It slopes down gradually towards the cave floor, only about 4 meters below, then disappears underground. You aren't sure how far the cave continues past that point. It's dark down there, obviously, but not silent. There's some kind of strange, rhythmic whirring coming from inside the cave. You hold up your palm and shine your hollow palm's light. The cave floor glitters with pink fungus, and the air is ominously choked with it. Let's climb into the hole. Let's inspect the topiaries first. The topiary you chose is a large, dog-sized quadruped that appears to be kneeling. It's far too lifelike. As you get close, you realize with growing repulsion that this was once a living creature, now encased or transformed entirely into the sparkling pink fungus. It's dead. The more you think about it, the more you're sure that this is related to the shimmer. Alright, now let's climb into the hole. You make your way down the gentle slope towards the cave. The thick, shimmering pollen makes it hard to see farther than your hand. You see 3 glowing vats set into the floor, like neon hot tubs, and an old-fashioned mechanical interface set into the cave wall. The reflected glow from the vats flickers on the cave ceiling, ghost-like and beautiful. You feel a strong urge to take off your mask and stay a while. I would say poke at the mechanical interface. That sounds interesting. I don't know what... Maybe we'll play with, I wonder if we'll get to do both. We'll poke at the mechanical interface. That seems more interesting to me. Unmasked? I didn't tell you to take off your mask. You cross the cave and lay your hands on the interface. It feels spongy, almost alive. 20 stress. Instantly, you feel your mind blasted open by everything, all at once, as if 1,000 pairs of eyes all turn their terrible gaze upon you. You're thrown back by the shock, which brings you to your senses with a snap. The pollen, the sparkling dust feels like tiny knives in your sinuses, and a heavy, choking pain in your lungs. Why did you take off your mask? You slap your suit helmet back on to see its lights flashing red, indicating filter overload. You lurch out of the cave and back towards the checkpoint, barely able to breathe. You know you need to get out of here, but a small part of you wants to go back down there, to stay in this glade. Forever. As you near the checkpoint, Utopia runs out to help you. You instinctively turn back, unthinking, wanting to return to the fog, to those strange sensations. You collapse in her arms. Several days later, you wake. You don't remember much, just a great choking heaviness in your lungs and the world swallowing you up and closing over your head. You have snippets of consciousness, of conscious thought from the last few days, but it's hard to tell if it was a dream or not. You remember Tammy sitting by your bedside, her cool hand on your forehead, but she's dead. That part must have been a dream. It feels like you had a fever once, hot and sticky, achy all over, like you've been boiled alive. You're still terribly weak, and there's a pain in your chest like someone has been sitting on it. It takes all of your energy just to breathe. You live, but your body took a serious hit, and may never be quite the same. We lost 5 toughness. Ouch. And we gained the status injured. I think, yeah. No? I thought we'd gotten the toughness perk, but maybe we hadn't. Because 5 more would have brought us to 32, and the perk is at 33. And we gained the status injured, which says that physical skill increases are reduced by 1, heal by relaxing. We're not going to get any physical skills because of starvation and being injured. Let's get some rest. And we're back. We gained 3 biology from that trip. Early dust.